Boys, can Joshua Van do it? Can Joshua Van do it? We saw him go out there and beat up Brandon Royval, Raw Dog Royval, for 3 rounds. It was a close fight. I'm going to be real. If Joshua Van did not drop Brandon Royval in that 3rd round, he would have probably lost that fight. They were 1-1 going into the 3rd. But we're not going to talk about what ifs. Joshua Van walked away with that win, and it's looking like he's going to be fighting Pantoja. They had them face off inside of the octagon. Pantoja looked like he accepted him as one of his own, took him under his wing. He said, listen, you deserve it. You're 23. When I was 23, I was washing dishes. That's what Pantoja said. So you could see that Pantoja is already a little bit nervous. I kind of find myself in shock that I'm saying that you could see that Pantoja is nervous. Pantoja has looked completely unshakable. The last time Pantoja has lost a fight was in 2020 to a dude named Askar Aliskarov, okay, by decision unanimous. But ever since then, he went on a tear, leaving bodies on the floor. Manuel Kepe, Brandon Royval, Alex Perez, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval again, Steve Erceg, Kaya Sakura, and then most recently, the dude who nobody wants to see get a title shot, Kai Kara France. But now Joshua Van has stepped into the arena. This dude is 23 years old. He's one of the youngest fighters in the UFC, period. This would be, if they had the fight in 2025, this would be his 4th fight in 2025. This dude lost a fight in 2024, right? But that was 5 fights ago. That's how active Joshua Van is. He did get knocked out by Charles Johnson in round 3. Yes, he did. But ever since then, he went on a tear too, just like Pantoja did. But Pantoja obviously has left a more prolific list of victims than Joshua Van. But we're going to get there. Now, the highest level of fighter that we've seen Joshua Van fight was obviously Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval went out there. He did his thing. He threw so many mindless jabs and right hands just to keep the space not empty so Joshua Van couldn't cross the void unhurt. You know what I'm saying? But Joshua Van found a way. He found a way. And him and Pantoja look like they're about the same size when they faced off. So I'm ready to see that. It's just, do we think that Joshua Van's grappling skills are superior enough to take out Pantoja? Because you know Pantoja's going to take him to the ground. He does it to everybody. Rewatch the Kai Kara France fight. Took him right down. But I'm going to say, listen, I think Joshua Van's takedown defense is pretty solid. He did great against Ray Taisura, who decided to shoot 45 takedowns against him and only landed 1 or 2. But Alexander Pantoja is not no Ray Taisura. He's absolutely not. And I can't overlook the fact that Joshua Van just got knocked out in 2024, September 14th, by Charles Johnson. Now, when they were facing off in the octagon, I don't remember if he said this when they were facing off or during the post-fight, Joshua Van admitted that he broke a toe during his training camp and he had to fight with a broken toe. It didn't look like it. It absolutely didn't look like it. Maybe we would have saw him a little more scared to get up if Brandon Royval took him to the ground because, you have to plant your feet and put pressure on your feet to make yourself stand up. So it probably would have been exposed there, but Brandon Royval decided to not take him to the ground. It was a full stand-up war, and when Joshua Van fights Pantoja, this is going to be a 5-round squabble. This is going to be a 5-round squabble. We're going to really see the limits of which Joshua Van can take this absolute monster of a run he's on. This kid is on a crazy run. A year ago, he wasn't ranked. Now he's about to be fighting for the title against Pantoja, a dude who's about to make his 5th title defense. Pantoja's going after Demetrius Johnson numbers, boys, and he sat there and said, listen, I don't want to move up and fight Merab. Nobody wants to move up and fight Merab. Pantoja said, listen, I will stay at 125, and we will figure it out over here. We can figure it out. Absolutely insane. I don't know who I'm picking for this fight. I absolutely have no idea. I did pick against Joshua Van for the Brandon Royval fight because I thought he was going to have Alex Pereira syndrome. I thought he was going to come out here and say, hey, listen, I was too active. That was too quick of a turnaround for me. My body needs a rest. That's what I thought was going to happen. But he went out there and had an extremely competitive fight with a dude who's been staying at the top of the division for how long now? How long has Brandon Royval been at the top of the division? Joshua Van is showing elite skills in that octagon, boys. Elite shot selection. Elite shot selection. I can't speak, but elite shot selection for sure. I don't know who I'm picking for this. I absolutely don't. I don't want to pick against Pantoja, especially because of the submission threat. Pantoja is just an absolute monster. He's levels above everybody. There's rumors that Pantoja did knock out Islam Makhachev when they trained together. But rumors are rumors. All rumors are true on the E-Rock channel. And you know what? I'm gonna have to pick Pantoja, boys. I mean, the betting line is probably gonna be a little fucking insane for Joshua Van. It's definitely gonna be like a plus 300, plus 400, maybe even a plus 500. And I'm gonna see myself flirting with that betting line a lot. Joshua Van has heart. This kid reminds me of Ron Tang. He just fights like he has no fear. He's confident in himself, and he knows what he can do in the octagon and what he can't do. And he's working on his grappling. He's not just some idiot Sean O'Malley that's just so in love with his striking that he doesn't think to work on his wrestling or his grappling. We are in for an absolute bananas event whenever they decide to book that fight. But it's going to be a minute. I mean, well, hopefully. Hopefully Joshua Van decides to not pull a Marab and just fight with a broken toe yet again. But it seems like nothing can stop this guy, Joshua Van. It seems like he's just on a roll. He wants to fight. He wants to fight. He wants to fight. And obviously he's being rewarded for it. But don't go into a title fight when you're not ready because, hey, those opportunities are not coming around consistently, bro. If you go out there and embarrass yourself, look at Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker went out there, embarrassed himself against Izzy the first time. Had to go out there, and I think he went on like a 4-fight winning streak, 3-fight winning streak, 2-fight Izzy again, then lost again, and then we've seen what's been happening to Robert Whittaker. He had his teeth taken out of his mouth, okay? So don't take these title shots extremely lightly. I know you're young, and I know even if you lose this, you'll more than likely be back in the title picture, but Pantoja's in this division to stay. It's looking like you're in this division to stay, at least for a little bit. So, I would say take some time off, Joshua Van, please. Maybe, maybe not. We might be seeing this fight in September or October. But I'm going to hope for a December Pantoja Joshua Van fight so we can get his 4th fight in before the year's over. And that toe should be healed by then, boys. And Pantoja took absolutely no damage against the French dude. Oh, he's not French. Kai Kara, France, but your last name's France, but you're not from France. Okay, sure, New Zealand, dude. Thank God that Pantoja went out there and exterminated that dude. Now we can actually get a Kepe versus a Kai Kara France fight. Maybe we can actually get something that we all want as a fan instead of just seeing the UFC fly random people out from a hat to go fight Pantoja because he's just on a fucking roll. Okay? Anyways, boys, comment down below. Let me know who you think is going to win this fight against Joshua Van and Pantoja. I'm extremely torn. Subscribe, tap in. I post every day. I'm out of here, boys.